You can understand why parents who love their kids more than anything and would do anything for their kids are understandably concerned about any possibility that vaccines could increase the probability of autism.
There's a massive Danish study that tracks patients who were vaccinated, kids who were vaccinated, matched with patients, similar patients who were not, tracks them for a year or longer and years, and finds no difference, for the MMR vaccine.
I believe Jay when he says there is a massive study out of Denmark of the MMR vaccine, and it failed to show a causal link between the vaccine and autism. But I talked to another parent this morning, and she told me the story of her 1-year-old child who was progressing normally until she got a little bit sick, and Dad took her into the doctor just because the child might have had the flu or maybe an ear infection or something. And the doctor said, "Oh, you're not up to date on all your vaccines, and did you know you can get the flu vaccine?" And so they administered it. Her fever got worse. She was injured by the vaccine. They admitted her to the hospital. And by the time she got out, she experienced neurological regression and was diagnosed with autism. The child hasn't been the same. That was 16 years ago. That child's now 17. The neuroplasticity that exists in a young child's brain declines over time. It's not gone at the age of 17, but it's diminished. There is no clinical study anywhere that will convince that parent that the vaccine, which coincided with the onset of her child's autism, did not cause the autism, because that's the parent's experience. And she's not the only one. I've heard from several parents. The pattern is so familiar. Sometimes there's difficulty conceiving, but there's always an indication of metabolic dysfunction prior to conception and during the pregnancy. The single greatest risk factor for a child's autism spectrum disorder diagnosis before the age of 10 is the metabolic state of the mother during pregnancy. When the mitochondria aren't right, the neurological development of the child is atypical. But that by itself is not autism. The problem with isolating each vaccine, oh, we studied MMR, oh, we studied flu, oh, we studied DPT, oh, we studied rubella. The problem with studying them all in isolation is that you don't necessarily have the statistical power to find a convincing linkage between any of them. In aggregate, any vaccine can cause or initiate the onset of autism. It could be the flu, it could be any vaccine that creates an immunological event, that is a fever that causes inflammation of the brain, which triggers the onset of autism. But I still think Jay has a point. When Jay says he doesn't believe vaccines cause autism, I think he's right, because they may initiate it. But autism is founded in atypical neurological development that results from mitochondrial impairment. The brain is developing so fast during pregnancy and during the first 3 years of life, and it is the mitochondria that guide that development. When the mitochondria are impaired in any way, the brain development is atypical. But the autism does not emerge until there's a fever that causes inflammation, until there's some immunological event. And of course, that can be a vaccine. Jay says that there are so many different theories, that they're all disparate, and it could be multifactorial. He doesn't use that word, but that's the impression that he gives when he's talking with Huberman. And that makes sense. But there is one theory of the origins of autism that integrates all of the others, and it is the mitochondrial theory. All of the environmental toxins, all of the gastrointestinal disturbances or the dysbiosis in the gut, they act through the mitochondria. It is the mitochondrial theory of autism that integrates all the other theories, and it is therapies that target the mitochondria that will treat autism and lead, when there is neuroplasticity, to the recovery of those lost neurological capabilities.